Okay, so Bethesda just rolled out a full roadmap for all the Fallout games coming out in the near future. GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen just said that apparently physical media is totally irrelevant. And Ryan Hurst is getting recast in the new God of War movie due to a onset injury. That and much more here on Split Screen Gamers.
Your weekly power-up of video game news, updates, and industry buzz. From blockbuster releases and indie gems to hardware drops, studio shakeups, and everything in between, we break it all down. This is Split Screen Gamers.
What's up, bro?
What's
up,
Let's
dude?
go. What up, dude? What's up? What's in your big old container of liquid? Is it
Take a guess.
chemical X?
I wish. Take a guess.
I would say water, but then again, there are some crazy people out there that would just put black coffee in that. Like, I'm being serious.
Okay, Chandler,
Like, serious.
now that you think that I have the capacity to fill this half-gallon container up with black coffee, now I know how low you think of me. No, that is not.
No, I don't think of you as low, man. Like,
That's insane.
I think that's impressive. Like,
Yeah, you're harsh.
I think that's pretty.
No, it's actually water. You know, I'm doing 75 hard challenge, so I got to drink a gallon of water. So I drink 2 of these bad boys. I'm on my second one, and I have to hit the gym after this episode, so I'm sure I'll get sweaty enough to drink the rest of this then. But we're not here to talk about my 75 hard. No one cares about my fitness at all. What we're here to talk about is
I care about your
the
fitness.
fact that thanks, brother. I appreciate you. I care about yours as well.
There you
Matter of
go.
fact, I care mostly about your channel. That Chandler just all of a sudden was like, "Oh, I'm gonna become a YouTuber outside of Split Screen Gamers," which is great. He just put out a second episode on his Chandler. What is it? What's the channel name?
It's Chan Gibby.
That's
That's
baby.
the name of the channel.
So you'll find it in the
Chan
description.
Gibby.
If I forget to put it in the description, leave a comment and make sure that I literally send the link, because sometimes I just forget. But yeah, it's great content. But look, dude, Bethesda out of nowhere, it was just like, hey, here's a full roadmap for Fallout. And so what we're getting is we're getting 4 Fallout games. We're getting Fallout 3 remastered, New Vegas remastered, a brand new Obsidian Fallout, and then a Fallout 5 is officially in pre-production. This was this is groundbreaking, and people love Fallout, especially it's even larger than it was before amidst the show that was popularized by Amazon. And so here we are. 11 days after layoffs at Microsoft, we got all these new games coming out, and there's kind of this controversy where people are like, yo, layoffs, and then there's these cool games. But I'm like in the camp where I'm like, good news is good news, and we're getting a Fallout. Chandler, I'm curious on your thoughts on this. I know you're a fan, so.
I'm a big fan of Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, and they're both from Bethesda. And like, Fallout has an interesting history where it wasn't originally their IP. They actually bought the rights to the IP from Interplay that went bankrupt back in like the mid to early. Well, yeah, it was like early 2000s, and pretty much ever since, like, they've been killing it with Fallout. Now 76 was kind of like their Cyberpunk 2077 situation where it was like a clusterfuck on release and stuff. But overall, like, Fallout I actually like more than the Elder Scrolls sometimes, man. And especially
it's a beloved game for sure.
Yeah, it's great. I love like the world, and it's like post-apocalyptic because me, man, I'm a Mad Max guy, and that's not really. That's not super Mad Max-y, but it does have like that post-apocalyptic, like nothing is normal out here. Everything's been fucking destroyed, and there's like mutants and like creatures, and it's almost like the world pretty much got remade. But anyways, like Obsidian is making their own game, and dude, I hope it's either like a new Fallout IP where it's set like somewhere else, like somewhere in the West Coast, because anytime Fallout's set in the West Coast, it's a banger. I'm just saying, like first
what's
two
up with
Fallout
the
games,
West Coast, baby? It's always a banger. GTA, Fallout, freaking even Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. It's like West Coast is going stupid for every game.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, and like every single Fallout game's been like, it's like the lore out there is different from like the history in the East Coast, which ironically, anytime like Bethesda like makes like one of the Fallout games in house, it always takes place in the East Coast because they're from there and stuff. So that's a little like tidbit. It was like, depending on who's actually making like said Fallout game, but we're not only are we getting like a new like Fallout like IP from like Obsidian, but we're getting a Fallout 5, which I didn't expect that at all.
And I think let's not skip over one of the biggest ones. 2 of the most requested remasters are happening.
The
Fallout
remasters,
3 and New
dude.
Vegas, bro. It's just look, New Vegas is 16 years old. Fallout 3 is 18. We're talking about super beloved games. This is a great time for remasters. We just got the Black Flag resynced from Ubisoft, and everyone's rocking with that. So the fact that we're getting another beloved entry into another beloved series with Fallout 3 and New Vegas, it's like, bro, like that's
it's like
remasters.
It's like coming out of the gate.
Yes, and it better. We're not looking for an upgrade. We're looking for a remaster, obviously. And Obsidian and Bethesda are the ones to do that. 100%.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, Bethesda doesn't really like to give updates to their games, is something like a lot of people will say about them. Like, they're pretty like radio,
chill,
like dead silent on most of their games. Even the Oblivion, like, retold, which was a complete, they call it a remaster, but to me it's a remake. It's a 100% remake, just the same, like, source code and everything and whatnot. They even added, like, the bad takes that they forgot to cut from the original game. But yeah, they're very much quiet, but this is unusual for them, and I wonder if it's because of Asha Sharma and pretty much on Tom. I mean, pretty much because apparently, like, I heard this story, and I'm sure you heard the same story, bro, where Asha Sharma went up to Tom Howard and was Tim Howard. It's so
I haven't heard
this.
This.
Like, yeah. So what happened was, she went. She, had a meeting with him.
Who's that?
And the head of Bethesda, Tom Howard or Tim Howard. It's either Tim or Tom. I always like get those two.
So
mixed
Asha
up.
Sharma apparently had a meeting with either Tim or Tom Howard, who was head of Bethesda Studios, and
pretty much was like, hey, how are the games looking? Because here's the crazy thing: they announced Elder Scrolls 6 way too early because they were in development with Starfield, and they announced that game like with just a teaser trailer and stuff, and that came out like that was their next big IP, but also like their next big game. And so Asha asked about like, hey, how's the Elder Scrolls 6? How's Fallout 5? And he was like, oh, probably we won't see Fallout 5 for the next 20 years. And Asha was like, what? Like, well, what do you mean? Because they take forever to make their games, man. Because they had so much detail
it's so
and so much like
it's such a. They're like, I mean, even just playing that. What was the last game I played that I forgot? I'm blanking right now. Outer Worlds.
I was
like, it was like overwhelming.
Yeah. There's so much to do. There's so many different side quests. There's so many random NPCs. And honestly, like that's what makes Bethesda and Obsidian games so unique is because of just like not the sheer randomness, but the sheer construction of this world where the randomness can and will happen. That's why like a lot of people like their games.
Lost into it. That's the thing about Obsidian is like it's not usually it's for some people and not for others. But I'm not even going to speak on that. I'm just going to say one thing that Obsidian always gets right is absolute immersion. Every time.
Yes. You're lost. You're basically lost in their world and stuff. Especially if they do like if they make a game on their own IP, like it's terrific. Like I think they're better than Bethesda, honestly, because Bethesda's kind of like a really bad rap and stuff with their previous titles that they released because people thought Starfield was boring. Mm-hmm. It is so boring, dude.
I haven't played it, but I've heard.
It's boring, dude. It's so lame, and like it sucks because this was their outer space themed franchise that they wanted to make.
So much opportunity, man. Because I mean, they have a decent track record. I mean, come on, they have a great track record. So when Starfield was announced, it was like, okay, here we go. We're gonna get another epic, but it's on the opposite end of the spectrum. You know what I mean? And so, boom.
Yeah,
it didn't happen though. Unfortunately,
no. It just didn't take off like Elder Scrolls or Fallout, man.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls is like the greatest game of all time, essentially. So it's like it's hard for like Skyrim is like easily a lot of people's number one, and for
they
sure
keep
most people
re-releasing that game.
Yes, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
and so I mean it's hard to double. That's why a lot of people are concerned about the new games that come out after an epic like GTA 5 or Skyrim or any of those Witcher 3. It's like it's hard to follow up with something like that. But
top that.
The fact of the matter is Fallout has the legs to do it. So the thing about Fallout though is that it's not an original IP. Or sorry, it is an original IP, but it's already continued in beloved series. And so
Yeah.
that aspect of it does help people already get invested into something because they're curious about the Fallout series. Starfield is like trying to make something new. It's very difficult to do. It's very hard to do that these days. And we're very critical. Let's be honest.
Yeah, gamers are assholes. That's what gamers are. They're just assholes. They'll find any little thing to get pissed off about. That's their core. That's
100%.
that's their philosophy. It's just find something that annoys me and it just fuels my life instead of find something that makes me happy. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So but
aren't we getting a new Elder Scrolls as well? Did I get that right?
Yes. So we are getting a new Elder Scrolls, and that was the other thing about the conversation that they both had.
Yeah.
Because they announced Elder Scrolls 6 way too early. The only thing we have, David, from like Elder Scrolls 6 is just a teaser, like cinematic trailer of like a one shot in the title. That's it. That's literally it. And that was like 7-8 years ago.
That's insane.
That was that's 7-8 years
apparently
ago.
The majority of the studio is on it, and the internal build is already playable. So playable. Sorry. So that's a plus. We might be seeing that soon. But it's like you said, it's like soon with them is. I mean, that was 8 years ago.
20 years.
Yeah, we could be looking at this in 2030, if not later. Also, Fallout 76 is getting a Fallout 3 prequel story expansion next year, so that's great. And that's the only near dated thing. So if you're looking for something that's dated, what's the date on that? I don't have that here. I forgot to put that out, but that's a near term dated. So it has a kind of a reference of when it's coming out rather than an official date, which is dope. So I know 76 didn't get a lot of positive reviews, but at the same time, if you're a big Fallout person, you definitely dug into the world. So you can look out for some Fallout 3 prequel story expansions in there. And I know Shelter. So
Shelter, dude, that's probably one of my favorite iPad games, honestly. Fallout Shelter. It's so good. It's so good. Like seriously.
Now I'm looking over my stories here and it looks like Shelter's getting an unscripted TV project.
What?
Yes.
What? I didn't hear about this.
So it still has 250 plus million players, and so apparently it's getting an unscripted TV project with Amazon Studios. So we're looking at like maybe because Fallout was so successful on Amazon, we're looking like obviously they're going to capitalize on that. There's a lot in that world to jump on and take advantage of, and so I could see them doing some sort of like survival. When they say unscripted, I'm like, oh, okay, survival type thing. But it's Fallout Shelter. You see what I'm saying? No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's piggybacking off the success of something like Squid Game, The Challenge, for example, on Netflix. Like these games where they take these huge IPs and shows that were widely successful, and then they make some sort of like realistic show that people can get behind that is built around the skeleton and branding of a show. And that's widely successful because people love the Love Islands, the Survivors, the Mr. Beast games, all that. And so cool. I think that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, that's actually sick.
Now, I want to touch on this before we move to our next story, which is like very briefly because I don't want to. I'm kind of tired of all the negative stories surrounding the game industry right now. But the truth of the matter is, we know that they released this Fallout roadmap in the midst of 3,200 layoffs at Microsoft, and we know I think it was about 29% of that was or something. A large percentage of that was Obsidian, and so I know we're looking at this and we're like, okay, this is a cool thing that's happening, but we also must remember to fight for the rights of what's happening over at Microsoft. I know I'm not going to speak on this because I don't want to get into the details and I'm not qualified to do it. Chandler, you can if you want to, but I know there's strikes and there's legal things happening over at Microsoft right now. People trying to get like, this is a serious thing. So any chance that we have to speak up on these things, we must absolutely do that. We've spoken up on this channel multiple times. While this is cool, we're looking at maybe, like we said, another 10 years for some of these projects. In the meantime, these people still need jobs. Let's speak up as gamers and make sure that they can at least get what they need or the type of change they need in their career. Is there other studios that can bring them in under their wing? Is there like a roadmap to getting back within Microsoft after the success of certain things, etc.? So we'll see what goes from here. But anyways, not to be too negative on this episode.
No, honestly, that's great that you pointed that out too, because, in the midst of this, like we had, or they, so many people had to like suffer through like losing their jobs and stuff. And you actually said something that I've never heard before, which is a sandwich compliment or something like that. It's like where it's like bad. It's like you're trying to like criticize something, but then you're like, oh, but you know, you did this right or something like that. It's almost like that, but like in the terms of like a bigger scope and like just being like, hey, we had to fire all these people, but hey, you're gonna get this brand new Fallout game.
But at the same time, like give us some time because we fired a bunch of people. It's like we're in dark times right now. It's like, hey, we're brave enough. We're adults. We can take the hard news. Just stand on it. It's like almost trying to like not stand behind your word, which is like you are doing something that's really sucks right now. And so I try not to take sides because I understand like the economy is crazy, but you know I saw recently that I think it was Boeing was, you know, I think the CEO of Boeing had gotten a 58% increase in his salary over like the course of a year, and the employees, some of the low level employees over at Boeing, got a 1% increase over the course of 8 years in their pay.
I'd be fucking pissed, dude. I'd be so mad. Like if that was the case.
Increase, Chandler. They got a 1% increase over the course of 8 years, and the CEO got a 58% increase in the course of 1 year.
1 year. That just pisses me off, man. Like seriously,
I'm not saying that's what Microsoft's doing. I'm not saying that's what Microsoft's doing.
But I mean, that's like most companies, honestly. That's like how most companies are run. It goes to the CEO. They get the best bonus out of anybody in the company, and then it trickles down. But the trickling down is even less and less and less. Like it's not 1% like 1% is
insane.
It's
compared to 58.
It's insane.
You're saying
it's
well. Look, if you're at the top, you get to make those decisions ultimately. And you have a board, etc. But everyone's invested financially, even the board. So it's like you have like these things are hard. It's almost like feeling too small to even make a change. Because once you are that powerful, you know, you're friends with the board, you're friends with all the decision makers, and your guys like, how can we all get a check? That's just what it is. Yeah. But let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah, I was going to say one more thing. Yeah. I was going to say, you got my gears going, bro. So I can't. You got my gears going. Seriously.
Sorry.
But no, you're good. But you know, I honestly hate like shareholders. That's what I don't really like a lot of companies going like open
in public.
You know, I don't really like a lot of companies going on Wall Street and shit. I actually don't like the stock market because all it is just a greed game. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a greed factory, and it's just like because I knew like some Wall Street people, and they were the worst fucking people I've ever met.
No, so I know a few myself too. I've worked with them. I won't speak them here because some of them, you know, they've been past clients of mine, and I agree. And the thing is, dude, you know, Elon Musk had that problem with that's a big problem he had with Sam Altman over at ChatGPT that he ended up, like he didn't want them to go public. It was supposed to be a private situation, and they went public. It's just greed. It is absolute greed. But look, let's move on because the next story isn't as negative, but it's a topic of conversation, which is the idea of physical games going away. Apparently, so Ryan Cohen from GameStop has officially just out of nowhere, randomly just been like, yeah, physical games are totally irrelevant. The quote is exactly, let me see. He said, he literally just said, let me find it. Hold on. I'm missing it right now.
What's up, bro? No, you're good.
Oh, it doesn't matter at all. It's totally, totally irrelevant. Ryan Cohen. Verbatim. That's what he said. Now, look.
That's it.
Look. You know where we stand on physical media. I'm not going to get into that because people disagree with us. Some people agree with us. I'm not going to get into it. But it just seems like a bad PR move. Am I wrong?
Oh, it is.
Why do you do that?
Well, I said this before the podcast, bro, but I was like, it's almost like, it's one of those things you don't really have to say.
100%.
It's like one of the you don't really have to say, and I wonder if it's because of the fact that PlayStation announced that they were ending physical copies. It definitely most is because GameStop is solely a physical like store and stuff. I mean, you can get stuff from online, but still, like everything, like they make most of their profits via like physical sales. So, but dude, Ryan Cohen just looks like a goofy ass man. He just looks goofy to me. He just looks goofy, and like he also like makes goofy ass coffee. Well, he just does.
It's GameStop's always been kind of like a company that's always kind of been the butt of the joke because they've like Okay, GameStop.
They had a CEO that left within like less than 30 days. Yeah, they had a CEO that quit like within 30 days.
I don't know if you went down the rabbit hole of like GameStop employees saying it sucks to work there. I remember I had a moment where I did that.
I actually
have you? Okay, same here. So everyone, I used to want to work there for some. You know, it's funny. I think this was I'm a religious guy. I'm Christian, and so sometimes a lot of times I believe that like God protects me from things. For the longest time, I applied at GameStop when I was young, like 17, 18, in college. Like in my early 20s, I applied at GameStop like 4 times, and for some reason I never got the job. And I was like, I thought I was overqualified. Like I had already had a really good reputation. I worked at multiple retailer places and fast food and stuff, and they just never hired me, and I always wondered why. And when I look back on it, I'm like, you know what? I think it was just because it was like a bad work environment, and I was just being protected from it. And I know, despite your beliefs, whatever, but that's what I believe. And I'm like, now I look back, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't, because the stories are terrible. And
insane.
They're insane. And look, for someone like the CEO of GameStop to come out and say this randomly, it just seems like a bad PR move. I feel like GameStop just plays, even on their social media, they just play around these days, which is kind of funny. But look, here's the thing. It was always going to be that way. So GameStop, I mean, they're directly associated with the physical sales of video games, but not in the way that you may think. So they definitely, like, 20 years ago, it was way more profitable, I bet, for them. Not even I bet. It's 100% more profitable. Yeah. But here we are in modern day, and people are buying digital games. And GameStop has been adjusting for that way longer than you may think. They've been adjusting to collect. If you go into a GameStop store now, they got collectibles. They all tons of collectibles, attire, merchandise. And I know they're
sometimes
they're
exclusively to the stores.
Exclusively to the stores, and I know they're under the acquisition of eBay. So like they're trying to do different things at GameStop to, at a certain point, I don't know if you remember, what was it? City Electric. What was it?
City Electric. Or was it a different store that also sold games, or
no? It was a tech store. I think it was called Circuit City. Remember Circuit City?
I remember Radio Shack.
Radio Shack's one, but I still to this. I think Circuit City just rebranded to Electronic Express. And like the thing is like, I could be wrong on that. If you fact check me, tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. Please don't make me feel bad. But I think GameStop at some point we're going to see them just completely rebrand, and it's not going to be GameStop anymore. Yeah. It's going to be something like Bricks and Minifigs.
Yeah. Good job, bro. Bravo. That story is crazy, by the way. If anybody knows, like, that story is insane. And the fact that it blew up like it did, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Bro, I hope there's a Netflix. I hope they make a Netflix series, bro. I hope they make a Netflix documentary.
I know that Reckless Ben was trying, I don't know if you've heard, but he was actually trying to get a series made on Netflix for a while.
Really?
Like, he had, like, that's what he was doing for a long time. And then Netflix and all of them like denied it because the stories were too wild. So we don't know what they're about, but apparently they're on his Patreon because he does like crazy journalism. But like, I feel like if they pick that up, that would be awesome. Reckless Ben is for the people, but that's not what we're talking about. I think GameStop's going to eventually rebrand to a
trading cards. I think.
Okay. I didn't think about that actually.
Yeah. Trading, because here's the story, bro. Here's the story I'm going to tell you. The GameStop over where I live, like 5-7 minutes away from, it's totally like rearrange and restructure their store, bro. They mainly have like trading cards of like baseball, Pokemon's huge, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic's another big one. I mean, and like a bunch of random like cards. They even have like the One Piece trading card game over there, bro.
Really?
Like,
That's cool.
They're trying, but yeah, so they're like trying to get into like the the trading card like industry right now, and they also have like a bunch of other merchandise like plushies and figurines and like collectibles and all that stuff. And then like they still have like PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. I mean, they still do because it's GameStop, but I think eventually most GameStops are just gonna be literal game stores. Like they're gonna be like just where you get a board game, where you get your trading cards, where you get your like
that's
awesome
even more
like
likely,
pop culture stuff.
I think you're right. That's more likely.
Yeah, I'm a betting man, and I'm gonna put like $200,000 on that dog.
That's insane.
I'm gonna put 200,000 unless they just go out. Which that's another thing about GameStop, man. It's like the constant story you always hear about is like, man, when is GameStop just gonna like go into bankruptcy?
They must have good,
stuff,
they
like
must have good systems and stuff, because they've held on for a long time, and they're trying to get eBay right now, which is a crazy buy, right? I think they're in the middle of acquisition, which that would solidify them forever, I think, because
eBay's a big marketplace, dude.
Yeah, eBay's a big marketplace, and it's a special type of marketplace with bidding and et cetera. And the people, there's a market. There's always going to be a market for that, especially for physical items, where you can actually bid and get lower prices on things. I mean, there's always that the market's huge, and I used to do that. I hate it, but for some people, that's like really, really super big for them in their buying process.
Fun story about eBay, bro.
Who knows why Ryan did that and said that? But what are you saying?
You're sorry, I want to comment. You're like,
I just don't understand why he said it.
It was almost like you're summing. Yeah, it's just random, but it was just like the way you're like moving your arms is like, are you conjuring up like some kind of dragon or something? It's like a wizard, bro. Like,
dang, you're 100% right. So when I'm confused, often I'm just like trying to just conjure some like a spirit of wisdom to make me understand why
something.
This is happening. You're so right. It does look like that. It does.
Dude, I tell this to Morgan, bro. It's like anytime somebody says something weird or they do something super strange, I'm just like, people be people. That's what it is. It's just people be people, man. It's just people be people. But anyways, so my first short film, Radioactive Color, that oscilloscope, that big old machine that we had in the movie, that was my very first eBay purchase of all time.
Oh, really?
That was the very first thing I ever bought from eBay. Nowadays, I buy like soccer scarves behind me and stuff. So I get that, or like I get something random. So, but it just depends.
I very rarely get on eBay. But I know there's like a large like resale market, which is cool. Like going and finding out resale, and you can get. I'm getting texts all over my phone right now. I'm like, what's going on? But it seems like I'm good. I was scared for a second. Usually when you get a lot of texts, like something's going on, but I think it's just random people. But okay. Well, let's move. Look, bro. Let's move on to our last and final story, which also might be the saddest story of the day, but it's official. God of War show is recasting Ryan Hurst as Kratos due to an onset injury. So apparently, on set, Ryan Hurst of the new God of War movie, he injured himself in doing a stunt. Now, the sad part is that Ryan played Thor in Ragnarok, and he killed that. Everyone was happy with the role. And he did a lot of work in preparation for this. He actually put on 40 pounds of muscles. He shot 4 episodes already that were done, and just injured himself while doing a stunt. And so, can you guys hear my cat? You hear my cat?
I can. I actually can. What up, kitty? What up, kitty?
I think he's bored right now. I'm sorry, buddy. Come here.
Yeah,
come here. You want to come hang out?
Come on. It's like I feel like I haven't seen you all day, David.
He's been sleeping all day. Now he's wide awake because he's nocturnal. I'm gonna bring him onto the show for a little bit so he can hang out.
He's just like me. Bro, he's just like me.
He's
seriously.
just like you, bro.
Like, I'm not turning.
But yeah, bro, that sucks, seriously. Man. It really sucks for Ryan because I bet he was excited. Now, I know you have a theory about this and why it happened. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts?
So, funny enough, I was talking to our former co-host, Mr. Chris Davies, about this. I sent him I sent him a post about it, and he actually was thinking, he's like, got hurt. Everybody didn't like that image that they showcased, like that test, image that they showed to like the public and stuff that blew up online. People were saying it was AI. People were just making jokes about it and stuff. I still don't think it looked that great. Just my personal opinion on it, dude. Yeah. But yeah, I think this was kind of like a perfect opportunity to be like, well, people didn't like how he looked. Like how he looked as Kratos, so why not just recast him for the role and stuff? So I think that's probably why they were like, instead of just waiting for him to recover, because the other thing is we don't even know what the injury was. We don't have no idea what the injury.
Yeah, we do. It's
Oh, we do. Oh,
yes. I did a little research on this just to confirm. It seems like he tore his bicep, literally.
Oh, okay.
He jumped off. Okay. My cat. Okay, yeah. So and apparently it requires surgery. So he tore his bicep, and look, you could look. Yeah. I mean, look, they could. That's a conspiracy theory. They could have done that. And that honestly, that be kind of smart from the studio to like fake it like that.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, 100%. Likes, yeah.
Or they could just be like, hey, we're gonna. I mean, honestly, or they could just be like, hey, we're gonna recast because the fans don't like it, and fans would appreciate that as well. But I personally look. I saw the. I know the image you're talking about, and I personally, what I think is the problem with video game movies and animated things in general being made in live action is that people have this kind of, it's not even a kind of, they have the animation style in their head. They have the larger than life impossibility of what animation can do. And so it's really difficult to get that
to translate.
I mean, even in in the successful ones, they're difficult to like, it's hard. People don't like them nearly as much. You know, Lion King movies are pretty good. I know Moana came out and it underwhelmed a lot of people. I know The Little Mermaid, tons of, it's just what it is that you're dealing with the way video games and animation can work with. I mean, we're talking about an unfathomable amount of creativity that live action can't. Not yet, at least. Well, actually just can't because of literally physical impossibilities. And so that is not to be understated. I'm actually kind of against live action remakes.
I'm with you on that. I actually don't like remakes of already like perfect films. Like if they remade The Godfather, I'm not going to see the remake of that. Like no.
Why
like,
would
no,
you do
no,
that?
No.
Yeah. Also,
why would you do that?
I get. You could have made you could have hired the team from what's that show? Robot. You watched it. Love, Death, and Robots. Get a team from that to create a really super good, like right below Uncanny Valley level animation, and do the story of God of War. If you want to make a movie out of it, that'd be cool. But why do we have to go live action with it in the first place? I think, and I'm going to watch the movie. I watched Assassin's Creed movie. Terrible. For example, great example. Mario, successful.
Yeah.
Successful. Illumination made it. Fun film. It's a video game. Now, look, that's not always the case with even the animated ones, but I think that's way closer to the truth than going fully from like animated to Ryan Hurst and looking like Kratos. It's like that's not even. For me, like it's not even. I feel like
they tried that.
People can't get their brains to switch. That's what the problem is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. I've had this debate for years now. I'm like, it's like weird that people want to like adapt like an animated project into live action because it's like, you even said it, it's like you had the idea in your head of like how this is going to look in animation, and you had the idea for animation to start with and stuff. But the fact that like people are obsessed with, oh, what if these characters look like they were real and whatnot? I don't really understand like the idea behind making everything into live action is basically what I'm trying to get at, because it makes no sense to me. And like, I think it stems from like people viewing animation or anything that's like animated. I mean, there's different animation styles, but in formats, but I think it's this view in the West where animation's still like considered to be more childlike and stuff, or a lesser art form, which I totally disagree with that. Animation
only in the West too. You're
way
right.
harder. Yeah. And like in the East, it's the opposite. Definitely in Japan. I mean, Japan like views animation as a media, which that's the other thing
Top
about
tier
the West.
Form of art. It's more difficult. It requires more artistic discipline. Like it's actually one of the. It's way harder than making a traditional digital film or film movie.
Yeah.
Like it's way harder. Yeah. Like we're talking
hours,
the detail
days.
To the extreme level. I mean. So I 100% agree with that. You look at someone like Ghibli, and you would know that immediately. But people, I've tried to watch Ghibli films with people in my family, and they're like, "I'm not watching that." I'm like, "Look, they are kids movies, but they're like not really kids movies. Not really. Yeah, they're not really. Like there's a few that are more kid friendly, but you watch Princess Mononoke, and it's like
one of my favorites, like all time, baby.
Right,
all time. And it's like
you watch. My favorite is
Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah, my favorite. Yeah. That's my favorite. And I'm like, okay, cool, like. It's a kid's movie, but like that movie. So, anyways, animation is you're 100% right. Animation is a high art form. The West hasn't adapted yet, but it's because we have a more capitalistic society, which truly separates like adults to children. I think in a way that is not common in a lot of other countries. The reason we move out at 18 and other people don't, like stuff like that. But that's a whole nother conversation. I think. On a side note, though, back to the main point, which is, okay, so who's going to get recasted? Who's going to get recasted as the new Kratos? So, I mean, we can make our theories all day about who we want, this and that, and I wish that they would actually listen to us. I know Christopher Judge wanted the role. I remember he was looking to grab it. I think Christopher Judge is the one who played in the Reacher series, right?
Yeah, he played in the Reacher series, dude.
He played, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I know people were looking at Dave Bautista back in like 2023 they're thinking about it, which I'll say these two things. Those two options. Christopher Judge, in my opinion, is like, he's cool. I mean, he's a Christian guy, so I rock with him. Really Christian. Yeah. But like in terms of acting ability, Dave Bautista's got him beat. I was actually pretty impressed with Bautista's acting in that one Shyamalan film, where he took it up a notch.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Good. But then
I went to see that with Christian. I went to see that movie.
It was a decent. It was a decently. It's forgettable, unfortunately. But I will say, even as Drax, he was funny. I think that Bautista actually is like going hard on the acting stuff. I would like to see him as that.
He's also in the new Avatar: The Last Airbender animated film with like that's titled Aang and stuff. He plays quote unquote villain. Yeah, I'm excited. That movie's coming out in July, like 25th.
That sounds awesome. I'm definitely watching that.
That's dude, 100%, man. That's one of my favorite series of all time, man. But I was talking to Chris about this, but he heard somebody mention Garrett Butler as the role for Kratos, but Garrett's already like in his 60s, and he was the guy in 300.
Yeah,
he was
the old dude.
Yeah, he's too old, and I'm like, he would be a great choice, but man, he's too old, dude. He's just too old, and like, you know, body mass deteriorates as, you know, the older you get and stuff. So
I'm trying to think who could actually do it. The thing about Kratos is that, like, you know, I the more I think about it, I think someone like,
you know, I was actually gonna.
Good. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I was gonna like him, and like this one's also like a more like common choice. I feel like if you were talking about like super muscular guys and stuff that can, you already know who I'm going to refer to. You already know. I mean, he was in Dune. He was in Game of Thrones. You already know.
Wait, no, I didn't actually. I was thinking about someone else. I thought you were going to even more blockbuster.
Oh, well,
I thought you were going to say The Rock, but you're not talking about The Rock.
No, I'm not. No, God, no.
I don't know about that one, bro.
No.
So you're thinking,
you know what I'm talking about.
Long hair, right?
Yeah, long hair. You know who I'm talking about, bro. Jason Momoa.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, he's pretty good at acting, I think. I think he would have to be willing to undergo like a pretty substantial like charisma change for the film, because he's very charismatic. He kind of plays that charismatic guy quite a bit. I mean, honestly, there was a little inkling of the charisma in his role as Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones, but like he was a little bit more aggressive. But like there's something about Kratos that is very. He's very no BS, and he's like he's really uptight, honestly. And then you start to see his heart soften, but he's still like a stern father figure type guy. But yeah. I don't know, man. That's a hard role to pull off. I actually think Ryan Hurst was like a pretty like incredible casting
choice.
100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear you, dude. I just wish they got his like the beard right. Because it looked all straggly and stuff, but like, no, I agree with you on his acting chops for sure. But
why don't they just cast a black dude?
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. Like, just cast a black guy. Like, seriously, and like
with the beard,
because he's already because both Kratos in the games were like voiced by like African Americans. So no, 100%. I agree with that.
I know the dudes who voiced them are old now, but the guy who did the last one, like I feel like he's not that old. Maybe I kind of wish he would have got the role, but like who knows what his physical acting's like. Anyways, yeah, man. Look, leave a comment. What do you guys think? What should who should they put as the new Kratos now that Ryan Hurst can't do it? Well, there's probably like I feel like there's a for sure answer that we're missing here. So leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm curious. I don't know. Honestly, I don't watch a lot of super buff actors. Like that's my thing.
Yeah.
I don't really watch a lot of super. My favorite type of actor is, Daniel Day-Lewis and Robert Pattinson, like the opposite.
Same, dude.
So
yeah,
it's like,
and they're fit, but they're like a slim build.
Slim build,
they're
but they're getting big for Batman. That's it. But after that, they're playing roles that are not big at all in terms of muscles.
Seriously,
muscles. But all right, guys. Well, look, great episode. There's a lot going on. What do you think? Leave a comment. Let us know. You guys can watch us on Spotify. You can watch us here on YouTube. If you like these episodes, you want us to talk about something specific, leave a comment, let us know. We appreciate you guys always. But until next time,